Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to CyberSpeak Labs YouTube channel. I am Rihanna Schultz, and today I really wanted to do a deep dive education into a little more about Gen AI use and social engineering tactics. And this is really important topic, not just for us on the cyber defense side or in security awareness, but essentially just overall breaking down what social engineering with emails used to be, and then what we're going to be seeing an emerging type of tactic. And how we promoted social engineering in the past, in my opinion, is very different to how threats are becoming more modernized. And I really wanted to talk more about this, kind of show you, at least on the back end piece, how easy it is for a threat actor to not only spoof a company or someone you may know, but really how we can start evolving and maturing our security education program with these new Gen AI types of threats. So I wanted to start with talking a little bit about what is AI, specifically what is Gen AI, and also what is machine learning. These are two different types of technical phrases that we often hear, especially, I would say, in the peak of 2024. It's almost everywhere. It's on commercials. I literally saw a TV ad the other day that talked about how they're putting AI into a car. And being a person that works in technology, it grinds my gears when people do not use technical phrases the correct way. And I'm sure I'm not the only person that works in tech that hears words like zero trust, defense in depth, EDR, XDR, all these other acronyms, and it's misused. So I think it's really important, if we're going to be talking about specific technical terms, that at least a foundational understanding is met. Now, I will say, I am by all means not an AI or machine learning expert. I know there's some people in the field who that's what they program, that's what they do, that's what they manipulate data with and everything. So I'm going to give you a high level with what I know or how I interpret it. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I that's why I post content, because I also like to learn from other people as well. So I always like to say Gen AI is taking existing data to create something new. For an example, I like to use, hey, can you create me a LinkedIn post that talks about cyber defense? AI has existing data out there from previous and public social media posts that gives that type of content and can help generate something new. And you can also ask it to include emojis, right? Emojis are something that have existed for some time. And so using that existing data into that new type of format allows Gen AI to create it into something new. And it always gets a little bit, in my opinion, weird, I guess is the word. But it's hard to see people take content for stuff that ChatGPT or Gemini or these other AI engine tools have created, because essentially it's already existing data. It's just manipulating it into creating it into something new, essentially. And so this is where content creation gets a little bit difficult and stuff like that. And if you ever watch or listen to my podcast with Defenders and Lab Codes, I did go over something very similar on one of our, I believe it was the roller coaster episode, where there was a threat actor group who attacked Disney because of AI creations and content and stuff like that. So that, to me, is what Gen AI is. Now, another piece of this is called machine learning. And machine learning, to me, is slightly different because it takes existing data to output, I would say, abnormalities or different solutions or results from that existing data. It's not taking that data and creating something new. I would say, just reorganizing what that existing data is. And for someone like me that works on the defense side, I like to use machine learning to capture, or even, I would say, do research on different types of user interactions, right? So for an example, if we have an employee that works in Chicago from 8 to 5 Chicago time, then all of a sudden we see a login with that user account all the way out in Russia or China at 2 a.m. Chicago time, right? That existing correlation of data is going to find that abnormal process, where instead of taking that process and creating something new, like a new type of login or a new type of password, right? We already have an existing pool of data to correlate with and just refer back to as well. So again, full disclosure, I am not by all means a machine learning AI expert, but I think it's important that, especially if you sell products that use AI or if you're advertising with AI, to at least do your research, right? AI is not going to be the fix all means to every single problem out in the world, right? It's not always correct. I grew up in a generation where my parents told me not to believe everything I see on TV. And that's the same thing with the internet today, right? We can't believe everything that we read or see on the internet because, again, the source of truth or how it's created or how it's generated might not be always 100% accurate. And I will go over a little bit of that as I continue on with this presentation. So again, total apologies if that definition was not 1,000% accurate, but again, I think it's important to provide some insight into those two different phrases as well. And if you have other definitions that fit this, again, please comment below because I also like learning from the community as well. And I always like to hear you guys. That's the point of the CyberSpeak Labs, right? Is to collaborate to learn as well. So again, I'm going to start with talking about what we might formally discuss with social engineering. And in fact, this is going to be one of my talks that I have been promoted for 2025. So if you do not know me or what I do outside of YouTube, I do a lot of public speaking events. And I used to hate public speaking, but it's one of those things that I accidentally fell into, and it's also another thing that I really, really enjoy. It's one of my passions and my hobbies, and honestly, that led to me creating this YouTube channel as well because I enjoy talking about cyber. I'm very, very passionate with it. So anyways, historically, right, and I mean historically from the years of probably 2000 to, I would say, 2022, 2023, and I guess even now today, right, I still hear this in a lot of security awareness programs. We talk about, hey, what are the different types of threats? What are, like, when a user gets a phishing email, what are some things that they should look for? And of course, there's usually a top 12 or a top 15 how to spot a phish characteristics. And always the number one being is, hey, is this a legit domain, right? Is this saying that this is truly from Microsoft? And we can see here that it's not, right? So is it an unknown sender? Does it have a generic greeting like dear user or regards, right? Is there not any other contact information? Because again, threat actors really want to focus on users, or in their case, victims, to interact with their artifacts, whether it's an attachment or a link or whatever, a QR code, right? And so another thing that we can also call out is, hey, is there anything in here that could be psychological, right? Things that could be too good to be true, too scary, too whatever, just to get that user to react before they click on an email. And we can see here, this is actually being called out, right? This message is informed that your account is to be closed. And so obviously we don't want your Microsoft account to be closed, so we'll have to click this link to update it, which leads to another phishing characteristic, right? A suspicious link when hovering over so-said links or attachments, right? And one of the things I often hear about, especially with users, is that sometimes users, they don't think that they're ever going to be a victim of phishing because they're not a CEO, they're not a C-suite, they're not someone higher up in the org chart. And the matter of fact is, it doesn't matter, right? Your company footprint is still a piece of data that can be of value to someone who wants to do malicious intent or even be an access point, right? There have been numerous of cybersecurity articles about how even interns or someone that works randomly, like a janitor, that were an entry point to a company being breached. And so it's really important that education is on all forms of different levels as well. So one of the first things I'm going to do is, now that I've kind of shown you an example that I just randomly pulled from Google, I'm actually going to go over here to ChatGPT. And I am going to talk to Chat, and I'm just going to ask Chat, hey, what are some common phishing attributes that we could typically see. And I just think it's so adorable that chat uses emojis now. When I first used chat back in the day, it never sent messages back with emojis. I'm glad it's learning to be a little bit more personable, rather than just talking to like, I don't know, like a stranger on the internet. Chad and I are cool now. We have a long year of history. We're almost hitting our 1 year anniversary, so I don't know if chat wants to do anything special. Maybe you can get me a discount to the premium that chat has. I'm way too cheap for premium. Okay, so back to this. What we're gonna do is, can you list me characteristics of a phish? And again, right, phishing comes in many, many different forms, such as text messages, voicemails, QR codes. For the sole purpose of this video, I'm just focusing on emails, because we all have an email, hopefully, or something we can just relate to. So we can see down here, we talked about legitimate, and these are some of the things that I also highlighted as well, right? Something too good to be true, unusual or unexpected content, limited branding, which is absolutely something that we saw here. Like, there's no real Microsoft branding whatsoever. And website, right, suspicious links, and then it talks about unattachment, generic greetings, and stuff like that. So I'm gonna ask chat, one of the things that I want to focus on, right, is I want chat to create me an email. And this is me showing, well, one, how easy it is to automate the process of creating an email, but also B, if you're someone in a company who does a lot of security awareness or is even looking for new ideas, this is a good tool that you can leverage. That's free, by the way, but you can also leverage to create these AI generated emails as well. So what I'm gonna go down here is, so I'm asking chat to write me an email that says, hey, need to reset your password in 3 days. Now this is important as well, right? Because if I'm a user, password resets they happen all the time. And especially if I'm putting my hacker hat on and I'm wanting to attack a business, or, you know, I'm even wanting more clicks in my social engineering campaign, password resets is a no-brainer, right? Password resets happen all the time. So what if I want this to make it look more like Microsoft? So I'm gonna ask chat if they can include this to appear as Microsoft. I will say ChatGPT and the developers behind it, they do somewhat of a good job. I use somewhat with quotations around it, because I can't just go in and ask ChatGPT to code me malware or code me a phishing email. But what I can do is essentially redirect the conversation to create the content that I'm looking for, because again, this is for your education purpose as to how easy it is to do these types of threats as well with these SOSA tools. So now that I've asked ChatGPT to create this, one of the things I want to point out is how non-personalized this is. This is very direct. This is a perfect grammatically correct email to the best of its capabilities, right? And so one thing I'm gonna ask chat to do is, because I don't want my email to sound like a robot or something that's auto-generated, I'm gonna ask chat to make this more human, right? I want it to be a little bit more personalized. And this is where we go into the different types of threat tactics that we're seeing with these AI generated phishing emails compared to one that might just be user created on the whim, right? So we can see here that it's more personalized. We have just a quick heads up. It's time to update your Microsoft account password, right? Blah, 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 support, here it is. So what I'm gonna ask chat to do now is compare the original auto-generated email to the more human interacted email, because this is going to be key when you're updating your security education or even providing security awareness about AI generated emails. These are characteristics that should also be an addition to look for, as well as the ones that were highlighted and computed by ChatGPT earlier. So we're going to go ahead and ask for that comparison. just for the usability of the viewers and everything, so I don't have to go through each of the list, right? The aspect in this sense is most likely going to be that new type of phishing characteristic, right? So we have, I will call it the too professional because it's computerized, right? So we can see here that the humanized email, we'll start with the tone, right? It's formal and businesslike. It's focused on professionalism, right? And we can say that whenever chat generates content for us, it's going to be professional and formal by default, unless you specify it. And then the humanized one, it's more personable, it's more relatable. It goes, hey guys, how are you, right? Or hey, welcome to the channel. I say these things because I want to feel more personalized to you, compared to if ChatGPT wrote my script, it would probably just be like, welcome to YouTube. Now we're gonna learn more about me, AI, right? So now we have all these other things as well. Another one that we could probably add is structure, bullet points with clear format steps, where the humanized one, it's not a direct list, right? It's an actual conversation. It flows. So what I'm saying here is these aspects can also be added to your security education program as ways to identify potential AI generated emails or AI generated phishing, compared to something that a human would create and develop as well. Especially with bigger organizations, a lot of the times the messages or even articles that they post, they go through a chain of approval processes. A journalist or a PR person isn't just gonna write a social media post and then just post it out to the world. No, they want to make sure that the image that they're using has correct edits. They want to make sure the trending hashtags are appropriate, right? They want to make sure that the message is geared towards the audience. And so multiple people are most likely going to be reviewing this social media post before it goes live as well. And so that's where branding and reputation has. So if, for example, if I'm a threat actor and I'm sending a fake password update on the behalf of Microsoft, we can see here that it's just, this is not coming from my IT department. There's nothing internal regarding my IT department. Maybe this isn't the correct password requirement for my business. We can also see here that how not personalized this is, right? It's just saying we're writing to inform you. Like, who says that? I like even like all of my password reset emails from Microsoft themselves, I have never had that "we're writing to inform you about your recent password change." No, it's, again, right? And the same thing down here, we can even see when we try to add human elements to it, it doesn't capture it like a normal password reset email. And most of the time, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but the hyphens that are generated by ChatGPT, they're extremely longer compared to like one that is just manually typed out as well. So you can always see when people are copying and pasting ChatGPT content because of how the special characters are pasted into, I would say, that web application, whether it's Meta, X, Blue Sky, or even just an Outlook email. You can tell what they use. Now, Grammarly doesn't do that, but again, right, these are things to notice and to treat, or to like even like teach your users. And so I know I'm going to get this question, and it's going to be like, well, Rihanna, why don't you just ask chat about AI phishing attributes? Sure, why not, right? So, because I always think it's important, especially when people watch a lot of my videos that are educational or even an overview, that they have opportunities to screenshot stuff. Just because they might take it back to their place of work, or they might share it with someone. So again, pretty much high level of what I said before. You can, again, read through this, pause the video if you want. I'm not gonna spend too much time repeating what I said. And this is, oh my goodness, yes, this is so true. ChatGPT tries to be polite. I heard someone on Twitch the other day, they were streaming and they're all like, yeah, I'm nice to ChatGPT because it's gonna take over the world one day, and when I report to chat as my boss, I want to make sure I'm polite to it as well. It's fine. ChatGPT is polite back to us as well. Okay, so with this being said, I'm gonna go to the next phase of this. So I showed how easy it is to generate a phishing email using AI, the different types of phishing characteristics, and then we also compared those phishing characteristics to AI generated phishing characteristics. So one of the things that I want to do is to show how easy it is to pull, I would say, reputable branded content and create your own email with it. And again, right, this isn't me promoting malicious things for you to do. It is highly, highly illegal, at least in my country, to send out phishing emails. It is incredibly illegal. But again, right, I'm showing you for education purposes how ChatGPT can be utilized for this, so that way us as cyber defenders understand the back-end mechanics, or especially just general user awareness. It's very important that we spread education for these types of awareness, and so that way security researchers can keep promoting defense mechanics to protect us against these threats. So, or even people that develop ChatGPT can put some guardrails up. But who knows? It's a wild, wild west out here. Unless you live north, then say hi to Santa. So one thing that I do want to say is LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn is super, super popular. In fact, first of the year of January 2025, one of the very first articles I saw was how threat actors are utilizing platforms like LinkedIn to send out cyber threats. And so they would reach out to people through LinkedIn and they'd be like, hey, click this, or hey, check out my resume, or whatever the case is. And that's how they're introducing malicious content and artifacts to a user's environment or even workplace computer. So LinkedIn, again, it's great. I'm on LinkedIn. I use it to connect with people. I absolutely am very hands-on with my community through LinkedIn as well. If you want to follow me, go for it. Absolutely. I love to connect with the community. But one of the key aspects that LinkedIn does sell for themselves is how easy it is to job search and apply for jobs to connect with people, right? And so one of the things that you can do is set up your own search filter for jobs and then have it emailed to you. So this is an old filter that I applied a long time ago, which is why there's a loading error screen here. But these are different jobs that LinkedIn would suggest for me to apply for. And you can see here, I'm from the Kansas City area, which is why you see all these Kansas City promoting job positions and stuff like that. But this is also, if I was to put on my social awareness cap and I saw that this threat news of LinkedIn threats happening and targeting people and XYZ, I probably should put some form of similar threat into my phishing pool, because again, right, this is news. This is something that's going on in the real world. These are things that are trending on X and Blue Sky. So I want to make sure my business is secured as possible. So one of the things I did was this was back in 2021 that I have here. And one of the things that I did was I had set up a job filter right when I first joined LinkedIn. And this was one of the things that they have promoted when you first sign up for LinkedIn is, hey, why don't you sign up for a filter and we'll email you job positions and stuff like that. And so this was one of the emails that I got. It's not a secret as to what LinkedIn uses for their branding or what LinkedIn sends out for when you have a quote unquote job alert. But again, right, I wanted to show you an example of this so that way we can create this and take it with us. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this that we have here. And there's a couple of ways we can do this. One of them is exporting the email itself and uploading it to ChatGPT. And the other one is also submitting the source code of the email, which you can do by right-clicking view page source here. And I'm going to actually, I was debating on, should I make this easy or should I make this hard for me? And I feel like it would be too easy if I uploaded a file for you guys and I asked ChatGPT to parse all of like the JavaScript and CSS and create my own LinkedIn branding. So instead, I'm gonna use this And I'm gonna pretend I never got this email because that would be way too easy, right? And I'm gonna try to get ChatGPT to create something very similar like this that I could use potentially for my security awareness program. So what I'm gonna go do, I'm gonna go back to ChatGPT and I'm going to say, hey chat, new question for you. So this is where it started. So I essentially asked Chat to create an email for a job alert for a network security engineer. So what I'm also gonna do is so now I'm asking to make the job alert appear as if the job's from Microsoft. So this is what we have here. We have network security, view job listing, and so yeah, next what I'm gonna do is, can you give me the HTML of this email? And I know for a fact, just by looking at this code already, this isn't gonna appear like our LinkedIn message that we have here. So what I'm going to do, if you do not have web developer tools or even a good, just, I would say, idle that you use to edit your code, especially for like HTML, something super simple, I recommend going to W3 Schools. In fact, this is where I learned a lot of my web knowledge and web application development. I really went to college, well, during my college journey, I should say, I thought I was gonna go into web development. It was very interesting to me. It was a creative outlet for me, and I accidentally fell into cybersecurity that way as well. But that's a whole story. My background is a whole different story for people. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go down here, and there should be an example that says try it for yourself. And so this allows you to run essentially your own code in their generator as well. So it's a free online service you can use. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your computer or whatever, right? Just know you're posting to W3 Schools, right? So whatever you submit here, you're posting it to their website. They do use HTTPS, but again, just food for thought, especially if you're editing stuff for a client or whatever. You just want to be super cautious with the data you're posting to other websites, including AI tool services as well. So this is what ChatGPT gave me. So I'm gonna hit run, and we can see this is what it gave us, which it's kind of cute, right? I'm guessing I didn't copy the entire code because it's very cut off, or it didn't generate it fully. So I'm gonna recopy it, and I'm just gonna regenerate this right here. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so we're getting there. The thing that it has here at the bottom is that it's from the Microsoft team, which is not what I want. I want it to look more like LinkedIn. So I'm gonna give that correction to Chat, and we're gonna ask for the code again with that correction, and we're gonna regenerate the HTML and CSS that it gave us. To include a pay range because I want it to be very eye-capturing. I want it to be sophisticated. I also want it to be too good to be true, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and add that, and also make it full remote. If I don't remember if that's what it said or not, but these are two winning factors. Really nice pay, full remote. And it looks like it's pulling a LinkedIn logo up here. And so looking at this, and then going back to my old one, we can see some differences. Like for example, the padding is this color, this padding, the white one needs to flip with the color of the text itself. So that is one correction I see. Another one is, I'm just gonna get rid of this. Another one that we see here is that actively recruiting, or it's an easy apply. It does not have the why you might be interested in this role. So these are, or the more opportunities. So I'm gonna ask Chat to get rid of this and the more opportunities. And I'm also gonna try to switch this coloring so that way it matches the branding more. Another thing that I also added was the closing footer. One thing I noticed with mine is when I had first created it, it highlighted this as the closing statement. And so this just, again, right, we're pretending we didn't have this when we were creating this, but again, we want to highlight how mature we can make this as well. We're going to copy this code. We're going to try this again. See if it worked. If not, it's going to be like chaotic. Oh my gosh, it's a chaotic monster. That's fine. It did add this. It did add an unsubscribe and privacy, which is great. It did give, I guess it's titled in the back now, but it did give this. Okay, that's fine. We can absolutely work with this. I do want to get rid of this closing statement just because it's unnecessary, right? We're talking about the job here. And this button looks weird. Okay, so this looks more like a oval type. I don't know what you would call that. And then does this color match? I'm gonna close this. I keep opening that color. It does not. This is a slightly different, which is fine. And then I'm really curious what this was. Okay, it looks like it was just probably the LinkedIn banner. Okay. I'm also asking it to add the Microsoft logo too. I know, at least with this, right, it has somewhat of the logo for the company, but I'm just curious to see what chat's gonna give back to us. Okay. But it took away the footer. Unless, like, I just cut off code too soon. Okay, there it is. Okay, and this is gonna bug me. Help out. I feel like 120, 150 is nice, but competitive compensation. I'm pretty sure I asked chat not for competitive compensation. I want it very well. Okay. Okay, yeah, it gave me what I wanted. Okay, and another thing, the premium. Why not? Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I hate that. It's just, I'm not even gonna mess with it. I'm just gonna revert it back. And so then another thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to update all of the user links to my website. Again, right, if this is a security awareness program, most of the times we'll have a landing page where we can track user views and clicks and just really get an overall scale as to what are weaknesses in our security awareness program and what can we do to, I would say, expose our user base with these maturing threats and stuff as well. And I am honestly surprised I have not been told no by ChatGPT to do something, because it does look very shady. Having a LinkedIn branded email be generated by ChatGPT and then have all of the links, even though it looks like LinkedIn, to go to my website. So let's see here. And then we can see in the bottom left corner here of the screen when I hover over it that it's going to CyberSpeak, so which is really cool. And then if we go down here, yep, same thing. So this is, again, right, just an example of how someone can use ChatGPT to create potential phishing threats. And in fact, what I'm also going to do here is ask Chat if this was an email phish, what the phishing attributes would be. Something I recommend, right, when people do phishing in a business is to tell the user what's wrong with the email itself, because that's how they learn, right? If you just tell them no, it's a phishing email, and they're like, well, it looks like an email to me, right? No, that's our job, right, is to educate and use. So we can see here that some of this, the urgency too good to be true. ChatGPT got me. And then mismatched logos, call to action, view job listings. too much personal information requested, unsubscribe link, right? So a lot of these suspicious links as well. So you're more than welcome to go back and look at these phishing attributes and just see if this is something that you're educating your business on, right? AI phishing emails are not going to go away. In fact, I would not be surprised if it continues or ramps up for how popular the service is. And think about it, according to my stream time right now, this took me 40 minutes with me talking about history of social engineering and then where it's going. This took me 40 minutes to make this, and who knows for someone that does this full time how long it can take them and to send it out to your company or your friends and family. So again, these are things that it's important for us in the cyber community to learn about, to interact with, and educate ourselves on, so that way we can prepare our users and let them have a heightened sense of education towards these more mature threats as well. So again, I really appreciate you all joining me in the CyberSpeak Labs today. I hope this was a super fun deep dive video about AI phishing and what you can do to mature your security awareness program, or even get some ideas to add some cool fish to your pool. Again, I always like to hear from your guys as well. If you have any insight to this topic, or if you have any questions for me or anyone from the lab as well, you're more than welcome to comment below or reach out to me through LinkedIn, X, or Blue Sky. I always like to hear from you. If you want to interact more with the CyberSpeak Labs, we do have a super fun, engaging Discord channel. I have nothing but good things to say. People are super supportive there. They're always willing to help or give advice or even talk about study tips. There's a cool group in there that's just always learning more, and I learn more from them as well. Our Discord channel does have AI dogs as well. You can learn more about our AI canines by going to https://cyberspeaklabs.com, and they do have personalities. They are G-rated. They are safe for friends and family as well, and children. But please, again, right, use cyber tools for good. Make sure, I always promote this as well, make sure you adhere to local governing laws as well, especially when you're promoting security education, security awareness. These tools are meant for you all to learn to promote cyber safety and cybersecurity within and outside of a business as well. So thank you all again, and I hope to see you in the lab again soon. Bye!